including a child devastated by drug addiction. As of now, there are only 14 states that have laws that mean that even small drug dealers, small-time drug dealers, are liable for the consequences of their sale. But you're about to meet two parents who have turned their heartbreak into anger and their anger into action. 26-year-old Blair Thompson, smart, beautiful, loved by her family, with a terrible 8-year addiction to heroin. On December 23rd, she died of a drug overdose in this hotel. Her parents spent the holidays planning the memorial service for their only daughter. But they also did something else, confronting one of the drug dealers they hold responsible for her death, face to face. The Thompsons aren't alone in their fight. On the night of his son Hugh's death in 1995, late television star Carol O'Connor came before news cameras in sadness and rage, challenging the man he believed sold his son the drugs that fueled his addiction.
I want to see you someday, Harry. I'm looking to see you someday. I hope you come and see me.
O'Connor placed the blame solidly on the dealers.
Is it really worth it to go after the small-time dealers?
Well, they're the ones that are getting to your kids. And not only your kids, your grown-ups. Why, they make home deliveries.
You know, I have actually heard people say, you can't blame the dealer for what we choose to do to ourselves. That if we choose to punish ourselves, then they may be an accessory in some way, but you can't blame them.
Well, that's a nice word, accessory, Diane. An accessory. Can't blame him because he's only an accessory. He's a partner in murder, not an accessory. A partner in murder. He knows he's selling and supplying somebody with something deadly. And what's his moral excuse? The man ordered it from me.
The investigation into Blair Thompson's death continues. Her parents still fighting for changes in drug laws and remembering the daughter they lost too soon.
Blair, you did the best you could. I will treasure every moment I spent here on earth with you. Say hello to my father for me. I love you, Dad.
And Blair's parents, Rachel and Keith Thompson, join us now because North Carolina is not one of the states that has a liability law. You did something extraordinary, the two of you. You picked out a casket for Blair, and then you drove straight to a dealer's house, and we're not going to mention his name because of the investigation. You drove straight to his house to confront him. Why did you do that, Ms. Thompson?
Angry, because we've tried so hard to work with the law enforcement about getting some of these guys off the street. And when we left after seeing her body for the first time, we just felt so angry. We just felt like the need of just going right up to his doorstep.
And what happened when you went there? What did he say to you?
He professed to be his brother, but I had seen a picture of him and I knew that that's who he was. And he just at first denied it, but later on admitted it, that he was the dealer, and said that my daughter hadn't been to see him in a certain period of time.
But in fact, you knew her cell phone records, and
he actually called her cell phone the day of her death.
I want to go back and talk a little bit about Blair, if I can. She was magna cum laude in college, going for a master's degree, a teacher beloved by her students. How did she get hooked on heroin?
Friends. She was just before graduating high school. She had a friend that introduced her to it.
Did you know what trouble she was in?
Not immediately, no. Actually, it was probably her first year of college that we actually realized that she was using heroin.
And I know you tried drug rehab. You got her there how many times?
Several.
Three times into rehab.
And didn't work?
The rehabs are basically set up to to stabilize somebody for 30 days. And then there's really nowhere to put them to keep them safe. They need to be, you know, on a private island for 5 years to try to stay away from all the drugs.
Let me ask you the question, though, that I asked Carol O'Connor all those years ago. If we choose to do this to ourselves, can the dealer really be held responsible? And will that stop anything? Will that get anything done if people choose to do this to themselves?
Well, I feel like Carol O'Connor. I mean, the drug dealer is the person who continues to supply your child with drugs, and they're illegal, they're deadly. Why shouldn't he be held accountable?
That's what we're looking for.
And you were saying, I think at one point, Mr. Thompson, that we hold people accountable for going 27 miles per hour in a 20-mile-per-hour traffic zone, but we don't have liability for this?
And that's what we're looking for. If you must sell drugs as a means of making a living, then we want you to be liable. I'm a home builder. I'm liable for what I do. We want you to be liable, civilly liable. And if we can get this Drug Dealer Liability Act passed in North Carolina, it'll do that. We can take these people to civil court.
And again, they're held liable, of course, for selling drugs, but not for the consequences of selling the drug, which is what you want.
Exactly.
A final word about Blair. Is this for her, Ms. Thompson?
Yes, definitely for her. This is something she wanted to do herself. She wanted to be on TV herself she wanted to tell her story, and Blair had gotten involved with us, with Dan Mad, working against drug dealers, so yes, she would have wanted this. She's very proud of us.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
I know this is hard, but thank you so much.
Thank you.
And if you want to know more about this and explore this issue, go to our website, gma.abcnews.com.